All right, everybody, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. And we're going to go ahead and jump into this reading that I'm already loving. So, main situation we have here, the Queen of Cups. So, we're talking all about self preservation, self nurturance. This is about taking care of yourself. This is about, do you fill your own cup before you fill the cups of others? Are you the friend that's always listening to problems, that's always listening to other people's problems, and no one asks you what's going on? How much do you give yourself to others? Like, how much do you allow yourself to just constantly be the other people's support system? And it's interesting because I'm seeing some of you guys being burned out. Ace of Wands being the blockage, right? That means that there's energy being drained from you to the point that it feels like a burnout. So, how many of you guys feel like you are around people that when you're having a conversation with them, it's like you're having two different conversations? Like you say something and this person tells you something completely different, right? How many of you guys feel like that with friends, with family members, with significant others? If that is you, this is a reading that could help you because this reading is all about self preservation, all right? Self preservation. I'm going to say it again, self preservation, okay? Is very, very important if you are the archetype of the Queen of Cups. If you're someone that's super empathetic, and I'm going to have her here, right? The Queen of Cups is a water sign or water dominated because she is in the suit of cups. And she's extremely empathetic. She is the best listener. She is the best counselor. She is someone that's always there extending a hand of support with emotional matters, with anything actually, but mainly emotional matters. This is a person that's like that. If you identify with that, what could be very difficult for someone like the Queen of Cups is putting up certain boundaries or seeing where people are not necessarily pouring into yourself the way that you pour into them, right? And the thing about it is that it doesn't have to be 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it could be 80-20, it could be 30-70, it could be 60-40. But there has to be an exchange, okay? And as much as we want to pretend like, oh, we don't look for anything in return in connections or in friendships or whatever, we do look for something in return. We look for a valuable friendship, right? We look for someone that honors us, that honors our emotions, that appreciates our company, that appreciates our emotions, right? Our heart. And when someone is not giving you that in return, then it becomes like a one-way street, and then that becomes burning to you, burning out for you. It could turn into burnout, it could turn into resentment, it can turn into many different things. So it's really funny because there's a lot of emotional cards here, but there's also cards that are about accepting a harsh truth, like the Ace of Swords, and then there's a card of protecting yourself, which is the Four of Pentacles. So I will go ahead and get further deeper into the cards. But one thing that really caught my attention is this Ten of Cups here in the past. So I feel like what's really difficult, I guess, in this situation, if you resonate with this, is that someone that might not necessarily be the best version of themselves right now. Maybe you're dealing with that. Maybe it's not just one person. Maybe this could be multiple people. It doesn't have to be just one person, right? It could be that you're experiencing a shift in dynamics in your friendships or in people that you're close with. And with that being said, at one point it wasn't like that. Okay. Ten of Cups in the past, it shows harmony. It shows that beautiful energy of having people that care about you and you care about them back. And it's an equivalent exchange. And it's just beautiful and valuable, right? But I feel like some of you guys, and this could be what the reading is trying to say, is that some of you guys are holding on to a friendship or to people in your life due to memories of the past. And you have to be very careful with that, right? It's one thing to support someone through a rough patch, but it's another thing to enable someone in bad behaviors towards you or towards others, you know? So definitely be very much in this energy of having this conversation with yourself and this connection with yourself. The Queen of Cups is like another high priestess. She's very intuitive. So it's all about sitting with yourself and understanding your own energy. So having that emotional intelligence of saying, something doesn't feel right here. You know, like if your gut is trying to tell you something, if your gut has been trying to tell you something about that, if your gut has been saying, I don't know, like every time I get off the phone with this person, it doesn't feel good. You know, every time I try to like do something with this person, they turn into something different. Like, I'm just giving examples, but when you are going through interactions in life and your gut is telling you, that doesn't really, I don't really like how I just felt. Oh, but that's my friend. I'm gonna get over it. How many times have you said that to yourself? You know, how many times have you said that to yourself? Because if you have said that a lot, then maybe it's time to reevaluate, are these connections that are worthy for you? You know? Maybe sometimes we have to take a step back. Maybe this not like a permanent thing, but we do have to see, how are we being valued by the people that we love, you know? So yeah, point of burnout. For some of you guys, this can actually be career, where maybe you're the person that's always there taking care of other people, putting out fires, you know what I mean? Constantly being that person that shows up when others don't. And I feel like what Spirit is saying is, again, there has to be like an awakening. And that awakening is showing up here with this Ace of Swords, okay? So you got the Ace of Wands as the block. You got the Ace of Swords as the near future or advice, right? So with that being said, it's like, yeah, a small awakening. Like there is something that will make sense logically, that will click logically for you. And this something about this particular situation is not going to be something that you can ignore. This is going to be something that you will not be able to move forward in the same way. Because if you do, then you're just trying to put your hand over the truth. Because the Ace of Swords symbolizes the truth. It symbolizes clarity. It symbolizes sharpness. It symbolizes, innovation. So with that being said, when you realize what you're realizing, don't try to make excuses for it. Accept it, because that is the only way of fixing it, or of putting balance back into a situation, or again, walking away if it really is no longer serving you. Okay, so very fascinating energy. Four of Pentacles again as the outcome. This is about protecting what you have. Okay, so some of you guys might feel that need to protect what you have, to preserve what you have. Spirit is saying, preserve your energy. Okay, preserve your energy, because you never know into the day that you actually need that energy for your own self. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a little bit further in the reading. Okay, so Ace of Wands as the block. Tell me more about it. Okay, so we have here, so we have the Page of Swords and we have the King of Pentacles. So this is a very interesting combination. Let me show it to you guys a little bit closer. Here we go. So Page of Swords and King of Pentacles, that's detachment and being grounded. Okay, detachment and being grounded. Page of Swords can symbolize you detaching from a situation. The Page of Swords is very unemotional. Like it's kind of like, okay, I'm detaching now and I'm going to walk away. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which is obviously another grounding energy. I even get a little bit like staying to yourself energy, like a little bit introverted energy. But for others, the Page of Swords can actually symbolize being around someone extremely immature. Okay, being around someone extremely immature, someone that will use your words against you, someone that would do anything to get ahead. So be careful with that if that resonates, Be careful who you are speaking to, who you are what's the word I'm looking for? Venting to, relying on, leaning on. Be careful with that. I feel like the best strategy right now is that self-preservation. So it is all about finding that grounded space on your own. Okay, because right now, if you are resonating with this message, right, you might feel like you're the one that's always there for others, but yet when it comes to people being there for you, it's just not working out, right? So how can we find our own center within ourselves, right? That's what Spirit is saying with the block. Ace of Wands being the block can show you being, again, burned out. So there is this need of slowing it down too. Pentacles are a lot slower in motion than any of the suit, right? Because it's ruled by Earth. So yeah, it's about kind of slowing it down. And I feel like this is also about being observant, because even the Page of Swords has a very observant energy to it. So allow people to show you their true colors. Okay, allow people to show you their true colors. Sit back and relax. withdraw and see how people might act to that, because some people might show you exactly what kind of individual they are. So that's really interesting to see in the reading. Let's go to move forward here. So let's see. Ace of Swords. We have, yeah, Knight of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So I feel like this is about slowing down your pace again. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow and steady wins the race, you know, a very I'm willing to invest in the things that are worth it to me. This is also like it could be a solid opportunity or message coming your way. So that's really interesting too. It could be that, you know, there is people around you that are actually good partners, that are actually good friends, that are actually people that you can rely on. And then you get to see the contrast between what a healthy person in your life looks like versus what a not so great person in your life looks like. And that is really good because it helps you see that there is still, you know what I mean, like goodness in your life, that there's still good people in your life, that there's people that you can collaborate with, that you can obviously build with, that you can move forward with. But some of you guys will be going through a purging. You will be going through a spot where maybe some friends are not going to make it. You know what I mean? Maybe some people in your life are not going to make the cut. But there's going to be other individuals that are actually going to really surprise you. And that is a really beautiful thing to see. Is someone that will help you move forward, right? It will make the decision easier, essentially. That's what I'm seeing there with the Two of Wands, okay? Um, let's see. What is this Four of Pentacles? Give me a little bit more on this, Spirit, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, okay. So first card, oh, look at this. The Fool, taking a leap of faith, and the Strength card. And we have two major arcanas, so I really like that. The Fool, I feel like it's about having like a no expectations kind of attitude about the situation, which is great. Taking a leap of faith. Like I said, I feel like some of you guys, this could be like I said, career wise, but I feel like someone's getting it like a good offer. Someone's getting a good offer, which is really great. So if you're looking for something, if you are, I really genuinely think you are going to get a good offer, which is great. And then you have the Strength card, which shows endurance. It shows, you know, confidence. It shows do not give up. So this is a very positive reading. But I just want you to, you know, really take what I'm saying seriously, or what the cards are saying seriously. Sometimes we take our self-preservation for granted. We don't really give ourselves the love and the worthiness and the, you know, importance or the priority that we give to others. So if you are that person, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not doing anything wrong, but you just got to shift your energy, right? And give yourself the same importance that you give others, okay? So try to envision you as as an actual person, you know, outside of yourself. And how would you treat you if you were an individual outside of yourself? And that's how you should treat yourself, okay? So let me know if this resonates with you. Obviously, this is very specific message. I'm really happy if you made it this far. So let me know. Drop me a comment down below with your name, your birthday, where you're from. And with that being said, my loves, I will go ahead and tune out. And I'll see you guys on the next reading, okay? Thank you. Bye.